Thank you very much, Eunice. Thank you to Denise earlier for your speech, to our Chairman Mayor, Ms. Loyan Ling, our Mayors Desmond Chu, Alex Yam, and Muhammad Fahmi Alman. It's a credit to all of you, the CDCs, that you're able to assemble here lawyers from so many different facets of the legal industry. We have the Law Society here, represented by its president. We have all three law school deans here. Leslie, Simon, Ihan, present. Members of the academia here, students. We have the Law Society represented through lawyers, practicing lawyers. We also have the Corporate Counsel Association here, representing practitioners who serve as corporate counsel in different industries. So it's really a gathering of legal talent in so many different ways. And I believe, and I think you all share my belief, that all of us are present because we are bound by that single desire to ensure that in Singapore, we have access to justice, not just in words, but in deed. And I want to start this speech by really congratulating all of you, those who have put it together, those who have volunteered your time, your effort, and those who have put in more than just time and effort, beyond just clocking the hours, making sure that those you look after are looked after, not just so that the box is checked or ticked, but really look after them in all senses of the word, and going beyond the call of legal duty and legal obligation and legal representation. So thank you very much. And I want to start by acknowledging all the different giraffes out there that Denise has mentioned, and to say that all of you really, really play a big part in making sure that we have in Singapore a first-class legal system, one that we are proud of, that we not just look after those who appear at the upper end of the spectrum in terms of legal development in our economy and contribution and so on to our legal industry, but really looking after every last person who deserves and merits legal representation. So thank you very much. This is the third time I'm launching Law Awareness Week, or LAW as the short form acronym goes, but the first time that we're doing it online. We've had to manage with the COVID pandemic, and we had to muster up new ways of delivering our speeches and also interacting with our audience. But I believe that the single mission of the CDC in working with the Law Society, LSPBS, for LAW has not changed. In fact, if nothing else, there's probably a greater need during this pandemic. We have seen more disputes, commercial disputes, operations and supply chains are affected, disrupted by border restrictions, circuit breaker, safe distancing measures. Many of us have gone online, including those who have not been so familiar with how it is to go online. So we see increasingly the number of online scams going up. We've also seen, sadly, a prevalence of more family violence, more difficult situations as families are coming together to stay together and in some ways forced to be together all the time. Many families are, of course, functioning at a physical setting which they've not been used to. So we've seen a bit more of that. So it's the time now, I believe, more than ever, that we, the community, the legal profession, partners need to come together, see how else we can promote legal awareness and provide legal advice to those who need it. And I'm heartened that so many of our partners, stakeholders, volunteers, giraffes have stepped up and stepped forward. And I really can't do justice to all of you for your efforts. You've not only continued your services online during this period, but also taken steps to place additional processes, put in place additional processes so that no one will fall through the cracks simply because they don't know how to access digital services, content, or is just unfamiliar with navigating the digital online space. So, for example, let me just give a shout out to Legal Aid Bureau, who collaborated with social service officers and the family service centers, the FSCs, to provide legal aid via video conferencing. That increasingly is the modality of choice. CLAS, the criminal legal aid scheme, the office has moved the CLAS application process online and have also gone the extra mile to provide applicants with step-by-step guidance for online applications. It's not complicated, but sometimes a kind voice at the end of the telephone, guidance to go from one portal to another is always welcome. The volunteer lawyers have also continued to provide legal service, legal advice through LSPBS's community legal clinics, and that has continued to operate virtually in this period. All of you have displayed true professionalism. And I just wanted to honor, I think, a quote from an address, Justice Eleanor Cronk. She's from the Ontario Court of Appeal. And years ago, she delivered this speech on professionalism and barriers to justice. And I found one particular paragraph which was, I think, very much descriptive of the kind of work and ethic that you display. And let me quote: "The elements of professionalism include not only integrity, honor, independence, civility, and leadership. Central to the professionalism is the duty of service to the public. Not to some public, not to the majority, but to all the public, including the disadvantaged, the unpopular, the marginalized. And any contemporary definition of professionalism can impart no less." And that, I think, is a very apt description of the not just individuals that we have, the volunteers, but the whole network that we have put it earlier. I have not gone to many functions and events, whether pre-COVID or during COVID, where we have a gathering of legal talent representing the different stakeholders and different facets of our legal industry, quite in the way that we have here today. Today, we are also going to be looking at some MOUs. One, a continuation of efforts, and another, pushing the envelope and broadening the horizons. Let me speak a little bit about these two efforts now. The first is the renewal of the MOU between LSPBS and the CDCs. It almost goes without saying. I think the partnership has been tremendous. It's yielded a lot of result, a lot of positivity. I'm sure the mayors will attest to how impactful it has been on the ground for the residents. And many of the time, we as lawyers, we underestimate how daunting it is to face a legal problem, whether you're a claimant or a respondent in the legal process and navigating what is regarded as a jungle out there, not knowing what next step ought to be. So that partnership, I think, has been tremendously successful and very much beneficial to many residents on the ground. This partnership that started in 2007 with the first community legal clinics at that point in time, the Northwest District and the Southeast District, that has paved the way for legal clinics in all the other districts as well. And that led to the CDCs and the Law Society signing an MOU in 2014 to create the Community Legal Pro Bono Services Network. That MOU was renewed incidentally in 2017. As an affirmation to the success of this partnership, the CDCs and the Law Society are, of course, now renewing the MOU for the second time in I think, very much expanded and in far richer circumstances. Today, we have 16 legal clinics under the MOU network spread across Singapore, located at CDCs, at the CCs, at the RCs, and they have helped almost 7,000 residents since the last MOU was renewed. This was made possible because more lawyers and more student volunteers have come forward to serve. Today, there are more than 190 law firms, 190 law firms, and nearly 2,400 lawyers registered to volunteer at the legal clinics. That is a tremendous statistic and one that is testament to the ethos and ethic of the people who help and run pro bono services. This is more than 2 times the number of law firms and more than 4 times the number of lawyers registered since the first MOU was signed in 2014. That's just about 6 years ago. So I really have to give a shout out and recommendation to the CDCs, the Law SOC, and really for every single last lawyer volunteer for the effort and hard work. It's made a tremendous difference to the lives of our residents. I want to mention one case, Mr. Wayne Tan. He's been volunteering with the CLCs since 2013. And Wayne recounted to us that once there was a young man who had inherited the family flat after his parents passed away without leaving a will. It's an asset, but sometimes it's also a source of problem and pressure within the family. And indeed, in this case, he was pressured by another family member to transfer the flat, who then threatened to get him evicted. He sought legal advice at the clinic, and that was where he met Wayne, who gave advice on the issue and reassured him of his rights to the flat, not just in legal terms, but also gave him emotional support assisted him with questions, not just on law, but on how to manage the relationship with his family. Because much as you want to solve a legal problem, you really don't want to create another social or family problem as well. So it may seem like a simple problem to many of us, but really one that consumed all of the time of this young man and was a huge problem for him. He came into trouble, clueless, wondering what the law had in store for him, and leaving someone with the ability to feel empowered with some legal knowledge and knowing what the next steps ought to be is something that is very, very much underestimated. And I think that's the power of the network that we have built. In the second MOU, we have a renewal of MOUs between the CDCs and the Institute of Higher Learning, IHLs. I mentioned earlier that we have three of our law school deans here. It's a unique pleasure and really grateful that you're able to grace the occasion. Not just that for today, but also in lending your weight behind the efforts that have gone on to assist in the legal clinics. This second MOU that will be renewed, CDCs, LSPBS, and the three law schools at NUS, SMU, and SUSS. Under this program, this MOU, LSPBS helps to organize various pro bono legal awareness programs and events with volunteer law students and lawyers. And I've gone to visit some of the programs by the law schools. And I must say that this is absolutely the right approach in making sure that the young, from the time they are in school, learning about the law, learning how to be a good lawyer. And I think it is crucial that at that young stage in their career, in their learning journey, they are imbued with a sense of giving back to society and using their legal skills and talents, which they have been blessed with, for something that is far more than just benefit to themselves. And I think this effort has been tremendous. So thank you very much to the three law school deans and to your staff and volunteer students for supporting this effort. This year, the Singapore Corporate Counsel Association, the SCCA, has also joined up as a new partner in this MOU. And for that, I believe the Vice President of SCCA, Mr. Wan Kong Wing, is present. He's going to be SCCA's signatory to the MOU. And I know you are also a Central Singapore CDC's District Councillor. So, Denise, you have certainly captured a very strong giraffe there. He has played a big part in encouraging SCCA to join up in this MOU, to contribute SCCA's rich talent. They have a very diverse range of lawyers, I must say. And because they are also plugged into industry, serving in different corporates in different industries, I think they really have a very broad sense of what it takes to apply the law to practice. Coming himself, I know you're deeply involved in community service, and for that you were conferred the Public Service Medal in 2012 for your contributions to the community. And I'm sure that you, together with SCCA, will now contribute even more to the existing partnerships, extending the access to the large pool of corporate counsel and cementing the strong ties with the legal community, and of course, together lending contributions to the society. I'm very pleased that the CDCs, the IHLs, and the LSPBS are continually expanding the networks, forming partnerships, not for self-glorification, but really to find ways to reach out better, to reach out to the residents on the ground who need the assistance. And so thank you very much. I have a few last words, one of which is to the students, law students. I want to say that, echoing what I said earlier, I said earlier, is that the pro bono practice and the ethos is a valuable opportunity to sharpen your own lawyering skills. It reminds us of why we, as lawyers, why we choose to practice law. Law is a practice of service. It's not something for your own self-benefit only. It's not something for you to go out there and earn a living with only, but really it is to go out there and serve the community and serve society. And if we choose to be bystanders in this whole ecosystem and we watch by the sidelines as someone, an individual, struggles with understanding the legal system, struggles with legal cases, then I think denying people to justice is going to be a grave injustice just by not doing anything. So I'm very glad that many of the students have stepped forward, have contributed, many of them as an undergraduate, and carrying on that practice and ethos and that whole philosophy into practice. And that's the kind of bar that we want to nurture, a bar that is not just focused on bringing ourselves, our lawyers and our legal skills to the next level, but making sure that they always look back, look sideways, and ensure that they bring everyone else along in our society as well. We have a new pilot that I'm going to speak about, the youth community and the legal clinic. And I'm very pleased that the CDCs, yet another giraffe has been brought into the equation, have initiated a pilot online project called the Youth Community and Legal Clinic, and that's with the LSPBS and the 3 IHLs. The professors from the 3 IHLs who oversee the pro bono segments of the 3 law schools. We also owe you a great debt of service, because you have put together this from really nothing very much, and organized and kept the system going and kept the energy and verve going. So I want to give a shout out to Prof. Eleanor Wong from NUS, Prof. Charming Chong from SMU, and of course Mr. Randall Orr from SUSS, and I think also Mr. Tris Xavier is coming on board for SUSS. All of you have been very, very supportive of the youth project, and I think very focused on the fact that we have to start with our young lawyers when they are young and inculcate this as a habit and as an ethos right through to practice. And all 3 of you, or all 4 of you, have been working closely with the CDCs. And of course, the CEO of LSPBS is none other than my classmate, my erstwhile classmate, Mr. Lim Tonggi. Thank you very much, Tonggi. You have chosen this path because I know that you would have made a first-class lawyer in practice in any field you chose, but you've chose to serve with LSPBS for so many years of your professional life, and that really is a credit and testament to the kind of deep bench strength that Law Society has. This pilot project will provide a platform for all of them to seek legal information and services if they encounter legal problems, and such as when they are involved in or even witness a serious crime and unaware of legal rights. Also enable youths to receive social, emotional, and also financial help targeted at their own needs through the referrals to the CDCs. And with the support of the IHLs, we really now have a strong pool of young lawyers and law students actively engaging in assisting these young people. And being of the same generation, I'm very confident that they are very much more attuned also to the needs of the youths. Not just that, but also in the ways in which they communicate. Much as I like to think of myself as still being quite young, I think we do need to call on the young people to communicate in the same language, in the same kind of modalities as the young people of that generation. And I think that helps to grow the context and grow confidence as well. So I'll state my welcome. So I'm just going to conclude by saying, once again, thank you very much to everyone in the community. I want to encourage all of you again, our partners, our stakeholders, our friends, our giraffes, to continue with this pioneer spirit, to continue with this spirit of looking out for everyone around us and making sure that those skills that we are blessed with, the legal skills that we have, we don't just use them for our own benefit, but we share them around. And it is this volunteerism spirit, this spirit of giving, that really brings to life what I said earlier and makes us a far better legal community, which in turn will lead us to a far better community in Singapore to live in. So thank you very much. I wish all of you the very best. And I really am very grateful for being part of this project together with all of you. Thank you. Back to you, Eunice.